Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the tftpod podcast. I'm your host, Ari Stamatakos, and I'm trying not to be enthusiastic about this one because I don't feel like it's the mood and I don't want to be enthusiastic because it's not the time and place. Yes, we're here again with another emergency episode. As you can tell, I'm recording this on the night of the events occurring. I think everyone knows what I'm referencing to. So emotions are still pretty high, feelings are still pretty raw. So if I do stumble through my words a little bit trying to find the apt description for whatever I'm trying to say, then my apologies there. But I hope everyone's well. I really do, because this is the darkest day in this sports history in this country, and I really do hope everyone is well. Has someone who they can rant to, who they can who can be their shoulder to cry on in a sense. And I hope this 45 minutes or so, 30 minutes maybe, is just another avenue for escape. But if you don't want to consume this content, then I completely get it. It's just so raw right now. I'm recording this the night it happens. I might upload this the night it happened as well, if not tomorrow morning. But the point's the same. It's so raw, so just so it's happened, and it's just happened. So yeah, I do really hope everyone's well. Hope everyone can try and maybe not find the funny side, because I don't think there is a funny side, and I don't think the funny side will develop. But try and let themselves heal as much as possible. Now, the reason, of course, I'm doing this podcast is, of course, because of the events that occurred in the Melbourne Derby. I think it's big enough for me to warrant an emergency podcast. Of course, we all know the build-up to this weekend's games of A-League football. We all know the build-up around it. And this game was the showpiece event of what should have been a beautiful protest against the establishment. What occurred was anything but. So I think we'll crack into that now. If you're a person not from Australia listening to this, then I mean I don't blame you for not listening. If you do want to listen, and if you do want to find some context about it, then great. By all means listen, and by all means get a second opinion, get a first opinion probably. But no, let's crack into what actually happened now. Of course, I've literally come straight from the game. I wanted to go, I needed to go, and I've literally come from there straight now. It's 11 o'clock it's 10 o'clock as I'm 10 o'clock PM on a Saturday night. So I've literally come from that game. If you could see there, Saturday the 17th, 10:03. So like I said, emotions are raw and feelings are raw. But if we go into what the day was about, of course, if you watch the previous podcast, the previous emergency podcast, then there you go. There's all the context you need. But this weekend's actions of this weekend's football for the A-League was going to be filled with protests against that decision. And I don't want to give background to that decision, because if you're listening to this, you'll probably know what I'm speaking about. If not, go watch the podcast. Go watch the other one as well. Cheeky plug. Trying to find light situation, man, because I'm absolutely devastated. But this weekend's games were meant to be a demonstration against the establishment in a peaceful, powerful way. The first 3 games of the weekend did that and some. It was perfect. It was perfect. The way it happened was perfect. Until we got to Saturday night tonight, and I went to the game, and I went quite early. I went about an hour, 45 minutes early, just to scope around, walk around the stadium, walk in and around the ground, and really feel the atmosphere and really feel what it was. And I tweeted this throughout the week, and I deleted it, but I of course wanted to I thought about it again, and you can if you caught it for the minute and a half it was up, then great. But Well, I walked into the stadium and there was something not right. There was something not right. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, but I tweeted this midweek, but I deleted it, unfortunately. I said that something's going to happen. Tensions or tempers are going to be flared. Tensions are going to be high. The supporter group is going to... Both supporter groups are going to be very, very angry. Angrier than they've potentially ever been. Something might kick off. And I was genuinely fearful to an extent of actually going to the game. Purely because of the reasons I've just stated. However, the mass amount of people that were meant to walk out, I didn't know how that was going to be managed by the police and by the stewards and by the security guards. So I was fearful of potential bottlenecking situations happening because, of course, Amy Park is not a big ground in the slightest, especially in the inner concourse. It's not wide, it's not tall. It can get very cramped, especially if everyone's walking in there, right? So it's not a big ground by any means. So that was my main fear. But also, like I said, my second fear was that something could happen here. And, of course, I just want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, really. Game starts, even pre-game. Game starts, everything was as normal of a derby. Victory were in full force, loud, brilliant atmosphere for the start of the game and even before. City were there as well. I try not to take a dig at City, but they were there as well. They were in full force. They did fantastically as well. Both fans, banners up, fuck the APL chance. It was all going as expected. Of course, Victory, I mean, if we're going to speak about the game, pretty irrelevant. Victory have a couple of early chances. City score a pretty good goal, which is actually going to get washed away how good that goal was from City. But it was that 13 minutes in, no one really cared because everyone knew what they were there for. And yeah, everything was par for the course. Maybe except for some mini fireworks that Victory fans were setting off, but apart from that, it was all par for the course. The 21st minute comes, and flares get thrown on the pitch by City supporters, which I think is something that not a lot of people realise, but that caused the initial stoppage in play. The initial stoppage in play was because flares were on the pitch that City fans threw on. Obviously, don't throw flares on the pitch, but that's not the story here, obviously. That stoppage led to Victory fans doing the same, as pretty much expected, and I'm not excusing any action, I'm simply stating what happened. Just I want to preface this before I say what I'm going to say. I'm not excusing any action by any means, I'm not defending it, I'm not justifying it. I'm just simply stating what happened. Victory fans throw two flares on the pitch. Tom Glover, the Melbourne City goalkeeper, throws the first one, which landed about 15 metres away from the Victory fans behind the advertising boards, and the second one went flush into the Victory terrace. And then all hell broke loose. Fans jump the barricade, run up to the advertising board, tear the advertising board down, run up to Tom Glover, and don't really do anything. And Tom Glover did very well to call their bluff by not running away. Until the main thing really was the bin, bucket, whatever, got thrown, hit Tom Glover in the head, caused him to bleed, and we now know has caused the concussion. Victory fans, OSM, original Star Melbourne, the active support, ran onto the field, tried to tear the net down, scuffed the pitch, threw flares, etc., etc. All fans rush off the pitch, or all players rush off the pitch, fans stay on the pitch for a little while longer until everyone is escorted away. And yeah, we just have to wait. We wait probably about 40 minutes or so. Players don't resurface, fans start to make their way out. And by the time everyone had made their way out, game postponed. Game suspended initially, indefinitely, and then game postponed. Where do we start from here? Like I said, I was at the game. I was in the stadium, and I was in the game. I was at the game. I was in the stadium, and a lot of people were very on edge. Even before the game, were very on edge. I observed very on edge. And when that occurred, I was sitting basically on the corner flag, or towards the left-hand side of the Victory terrace. And it was one of the most harrowing things I've ever experienced at a football game. One of the most harrowing things. I saw it, like, I just have this vision in my head of a person who I'll touch on the person I'm referencing a little bit later. I saw him jump the thing, tear the advertising board down, and run up to Tom Glover and run up to the players, and I saw the flare being thrown back into the terrace. I saw everything unfold. It literally in front of me. I saw it unfold, and and this background noise of people screaming, like grown men and women screaming as this was happening. It happens. People get, and it kind of is just a massive blur. I go like you observe everything. I'm seeing, and I know people like grown adults are in tears, children are screaming because what's going on here? Like, what is happening? And the actions itself were obviously terrible. If I wanna reach as far as I could possibly reach for the sake of covering all bases of arguments and all bases of conversation, I can understand the anger that the Victory fans would have at having flares thrown at them. Obviously, you don't want that, but the actions completely indefensible, completely unjustifiable, and you can't do anything other than condemn it. Condemn or condone? I think it's condemn. Denounce it publicly. Should really know the difference, shouldn't I? And I spoke about that person, and this person, I don't want to name him because for two reasons. One, I'm not 99% sure I'm not 100% sure it's him. I'm 99% sure it's this person I'm speaking about. And I'm not going to name him, obviously. I'm not going to say anything that could identify him in the slightest. But I saw this person who I knew at least do this. At least I think it's him. And I'm being very careful not to say anything more. And I see this happen, and I see it happen in front of me, and I'm just utterly lost for words and so ashamed that it's not only someone that I knew, but my fellow fans, you can speak about it being a Victory thing, whatever. I'm ashamed to be a Victory supporter right now. Absolutely ashamed. Absolutely, utterly ashamed. And it's just disgraceful what happened. Obviously, disgraceful. But I'm past the point of ranting and raving. I am just so sad. Like, so sad. And I just want to ask all of them, why? Just why? That's all. Like, not. I don't want to go up and abuse them and give them shit because I don't have the energy. Don't have the odyssey for that. I just want to ask them why. Why? I just want a reason. And funnily enough, I don't think I'll ever get a reason. I don't think anyone will ever get a reason. A proper reason other than he threw flares on my face, which, whatever. I mean, not a justifiable thing by any means. I mean, Twitter's going mental, and I don't even know where to go from here. But I'm just so incredibly gutted because I think that has happened. So it's happened now. We need to speak about what's next and literally what happens next. Game postponed, game abandoned. You'd assume it'd be a 3-0 win for City. Of course, they had the lead at the time, but regardless of if it was a draw or not, assuming it'd be a 3-0 win for City. I would not be surprised if there was docked points, stadium bans, games behind closed doors for Victory games, home games at least. Yeah, it's harrowing, absolutely harrowing. Like I said, I was seeing grown adults in tears and screaming and children crying, and it was It's one of the most harrowing thing I've ever experienced at a sporting game, at a sporting event, at any event. We were spectators to watching someone or something die, and that's what it genuinely feels like. It genuinely feels like in those 90 seconds where the fans jump the field and the players run off and the fans are escorted back, it felt like we had just seen football in this country die. It's been given a second chance after the NSL folding. It's been given a second chance, and I don't see a way back from here. I genuinely don't. If you're one of those people who did that, good on you. Good on you. Well done. I wouldn't say single-handedly, but you definitely played a part in potentially the final nail in the coffin of football in this country. So I hope you're proud of yourself. I hope you take a deep look in the mirror and really think about your actions, because you're part of the bigger problem here. And this isn't an APL problem. This isn't a Danny Townsend problem, because, granted, yeah, this whole thing potentially has stemmed from that, but that's not what this is about. There is no winner here. There is no winner. Danny Townsend hasn't won. The APL haven't won. There is no winner here. I'm just so shattered, just so upset, and I saw tweets about two men who have spoken about quite emotionally on this podcast, Johnny Warren and Les Murray, and we've let them down. We've let them down. Plain and simple. We've let football in this country down, we've let the sport down, and we've let every single fan, every single player, every single person who has put an ounce of energy into this game, we've let them down. Or you've let them down. I wasn't involved. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happens next. I'm still at a little bit of a loss for words. I'm still very upset. You work so hard. Everyone has worked so hard. But we're at the highest of highs. Like, go back and watch the podcast where we qualified for the round 16. Look at the joy on my I'm a microcosm of the wider football community, as are you who are watching, as are every single person who supports the game. They're a microcosm of the community. The joy and the utter just euphoria after that game, complete 180. Utter sadness, utter just pure, just sadness. I'm past the point of being angry. I wasn't even angry when it happened. I felt like crying, and I do feel like crying. I just feel so gutted for this game, for the people who work for this game, who support this game, who have done everything in their power to get this game to where it belongs. They're the people I feel sorry for, and that's the reason why I'm past the point of ranting and raving. I could come on here and start abusing people who did it and start being so angry about everything, but I'm past that. I can't be bothered. I'm just so sad. I'm just so sad because this is, like, I mentioned this in my Twitter little voice memo thingy. This is the beautiful game. This is the beautiful game. This is the world game. And for the longest time, I keep thinking, why can't it be here as well? Why can't it be the game here as well? And now we know why. I'm just at a utter loss for words. And I say utter loss for words, I've spoken for 20 minutes. I'm just deeply just fuck. Just fuck, man. I don't even know what more to say. I really don't. I just wanted to do this just to get my thoughts out there. Well, I don't know what more. Genuinely don't know what more there is to say. You fuck, I can't even think. Genuinely can't even think. I just am so upset at everything. Just so upset at everything. People put so much effort, people put so much time and energy into this, and people do so much. Like, it's not even what you see, it's the emotional energy, the mental energy that you put into this game. That's what hurts. That's what hurts. And that is what is the most frustrating thing. It's not about people who have spent money. Well, it is, but it's also not just about the people who spend money, who go to games, who buy the shirts, who do all this stuff. It's about the people who just care. And it sounds so arbitrary, it sounds so flippant, but the mental energy and the emotional energy people put into this game has just been pissed up the wall. Because there's no going back. Where do we go from here? I can't think of a way back. The darkest day of football in this country by a landslide, by an absolute landslide. Where do we honestly, where do we go from here? I just can't think of. I just can't think of a way you can spin. Obviously, you can't spin it. How are you gonna spin this? Oh, Glover threw the flares back. What did you expect? Fuck, how far is that gonna get you? Yeah, he threw the flares back. Should he have thrown them back into the fans? Probably not. But I mean, like, fuck, if you want to do that, the fans probably shouldn't have thrown the flares on the pitch in the first place. So, what are we doing here? What circles are we running? Like, you can't spin this, and that's the worst part. That's the worst part of you just can't do anything other than just sit back and think, how did it get this bad? How did it get this bad? How does it build up to this? Because it doesn't feel like it's a spur of the moment thing. It genuinely doesn't. And it doesn't feel like it's something that we can just kind of. I mean, we definitely can't look past it. That's fucking plain and simple, obvious, right? Plain and simple, obvious. You can't look past it, but we have to look before this and think how and why has this built up to this. Obviously, the reason why the tensions were flared in the first place and tempers were flared in the first place is because of fucking Danny and his group of goons. Obviously the APL's decision, we all know that, but is that really a justifiable response? Obviously it's not. Why am I even asking the question? Now you can say these things of, if Glover doesn't throw the thing, then this doesn't happen. Great, whatever. But I ask you this. Being at the ground, and being in the stadium, what I felt like something was always going to happen. So this felt like just kind of a big I don't know how to describe it. It's like I felt like something was going to happen. So this feels like a massive just explosion of all this tension. But this tension wouldn't have just fizzled away. It wouldn't have. There's no way. I felt if you went to the game, I'm almost certain you'd have the same sentiment as me. The tension in the stadium was honestly like I've never fucking felt before. I was looking around and people, especially in the victory end, and a lot of people were kind of on edge. And the anger was there. It was anger. It was pure hatred and anger towards um towards what's happening. It was anger towards the environment, right? And the situation that everyone was in. But those tensions weren't going to fizzle away. Do I dread to think what could have happened if it had been taken outside? To use a little bit of not a cliche term, but to be like flippant about it, if you can be flippant about it in this situation. What would have happened if, let's just say, the walkouts happened and City and Victory fans had come together? Because there was, I mean, this is probably went completely unnoticed, but there was a fuck Sydney Football Group banner in the Melbourne City end. In the Melbourne City end. I don't think people noted that. I don't think people noticed that. Well, I haven't seen that publicised anywhere. But there was a CFG banner in the Melbourne City end, which I think got taken down as people walked out. I don't know what that means, but like in terms of like, I know what it means, but like I don't know what that symbolises. I am a little bit lost for just struggling at the moment to fully comprehend everything. And we deserve everything we're going to get, media wise, backlash wise. We deserve everything we're going to get. Maybe I should have done this tomorrow morning, where I can gather my thoughts. Maybe I should have. I just feel like it's better doing this raw and better doing this as emotional as I am, and etc. 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 Yeah, people will come at this sport now, and where does this leave our sport? Where does it leave our sport? 10 years behind, 20 years behind, 30, 40, 50 years behind? Because, I mean, it sets victory back a hell of a long way. This was, I mean, if we're going to speak about, obviously not the big story here, but the game itself, like, yeah, Victory were 1-0 down, but Victory had chances, especially early on, were dominating, and yeah, they were 1-0 down, but they could have so easily got back into the game. Where does it leave them? Points deductions, probably Victory are in a position on the table where they can't be. Like with the squad that Victory have, they can't be languaging in that 7th to 5th area. They can't be. And a further 3 points docked, potentially even more points docked, is going to be even worse for them. Games behind closed doors. Which is why I want to go back to the thing of why. This is why I want to go back to the thing of why. Why did Victory fans knew exactly what Victory fans were Victory fans knew exactly what they were doing when I did that. Knew exactly what they were doing. It's not this. It may have been just a spur in the moment thing, but like you just know, the repercussions for that. Like Victory are already in the shit books just in general with the APL and with the police and everything. I mean, it's quite ironic, and I've seen this tweeted a bunch of times. It's quite ironic that, the same people who are saying leave us alone, stop policing us, stop over policing us, are the same people doing this. I mean, I don't even know. Genuinely don't. Like, just to the point where I give up. Just to the point where I give up. Like, I give up, like I said, ranting and raving, like trying, like abusing people and being flippant about it and kind of, and I don't even know what to say. Being like not like just being kind of, oh, this has happened, and being on the emotional side of things. Like I think there's a range in emotions, right? When something's happened, you can either be really sad or be really angry, and I think it comes from experience, and it comes from what you don't often experience. From what you don't often experience. When something bad happens, there's obviously that 5 stages or whatever it is, where you have like denial, and then you have like acceptance and bargaining and etc. For me, at least, it's skipped all the denial part, saying this isn't as bad or whatever. It skipped all the bargaining, saying, oh, but this at least has sent a statement or whatever bullshit you want to come up with for that. And it's gone straight to the acceptance of it being the worst situation this sport has had in this country. And not only that, but the sinking reality of it being, oh great, all that hard work, huh? All that hard work, all that kind of fight and effort that we've put in down the drain, and not coming back. I don't think. I think that's done. I think I'm done. 33 minutes. Not bad. This probably will go out tonight. Thinking about it, if I can get home, get this out before midnight, that'd be great. But I'll plug this around tomorrow morning, so hopefully you see this. Final message just to all the people who have fought for this game. I'm sorry. Like Johnny Warren, Les Murray in particular, but others as well. I'm sorry. Like, oh, should I say I'm sorry? We're sorry. Football fans, true football fans are sorry. Because this shouldn't have got this bad. And it has got this bad, and it's the worst thing. The worst for this game. Surprised I haven't cried, to be honest. I feel like crying a lot. I'm just so gutted. Just absolutely gutted. So sad. So shattered. Ashamed. Embarrassed. Everything. It is what it is. I mean, it's not it is what it is, but it's happened now. We can't fight it. We can't bargain, or we can't say, oh, it wasn't that bad or whatever. It's happened. We need to accept just how bad this was. Anyways. I'm done. see you not tomorrow. See you in 2 days' time for World Cup coverage. Remember when Australia were in the World Cup, winning games, beating Denmark, yeah, being this far away from drawing to Argentina. Yeah, remember that? They were good times. At least Matt Leckie got cheered when his name was announced pre-game. That was quite nice. But oh well. Just seen a. I mean, I've just scrolled through Twitter one last time. Danny Vukovic, our game is in tatters. An absolute disgrace. I mean, I don't even need to read anything more than that. Nailed it on the head. Our game is in tatters. I'll be back. Oh, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry off camera. I've already cried once in this podcast. I'll be back Monday for the World Cup final, and then I'll be back probably Wednesday for more World Cup coverage, and then I'll be back weekly. Thank you for watching. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone is safe and is. I hope everyone's safe and is. Everyone's safe and is. Calm down and try to let this boil over as much as it possibly can. Hope everyone. I really do hope everyone's safe, because this is a dark time for a lot of people. But we can only move forwards. I don't know what's going to happen to this game. I really don't. Could be the last podcast I'll do on the A-League. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. No, I'll be back Monday. Thank you for watching. Speak to you guys soon. And you know what? I'm actually not even going to do the outro music for it. It's too somber. So speak to you guys very soon. Goodbye.